Good afternoon, everybody, and this is Joe Janowski back on the mic. Do a little quick drivers meeting to catch everybody up for the afternoon. For those of you that weren't here this morning, just want to reiterate, and I'm going to kind of shorten this up a little bit because this morning's was a little bit on the long side, but most of what I'm going to reference right now is on the IKC rules that you'll find on our webpage, racewrp.com. So the number one thing I want to really kind of touch on is code of conduct and the culture. And I want to make sure everybody knows, and I just want to remind everybody this is a family-friendly, positive environment, and we protect that rather vigorously. So make sure you kind of read that code of conduct. It's a little bit long, but basically, I'll shorten it. Be good to each other. Race hard, race fair, race fast. Don't do dumb things on the racetrack. If you do dumb things on the racetrack, then go ahead and own it. Apologize to the other person, and keep a friend, and we have a good day of racing. Make sure to reference. We got the NK sporting regulations. I know a lot of you have told me you've gone through those and read quite a few of those, and that's great to hear. We got a lot of information in there that's really super helpful. One thing I want to touch base on also is, interaction with the staff and all those kinds of things. We have a lot of great, wonderful, friendly staff that are operating around here. But really, your first thing should be to go to Discord and use the help desk. That's what it's there for. It's there to help you guys. We're constantly, you probably saw this morning, we're constantly sort of pushing and trying to keep you guys updated if there's any delays or things like that, and answer questions as we can. Keep in mind, this morning was not too bad. There was a couple glitches on our end, and I fully expect that with all the different things that we're doing, especially up here in the tower, how we're operating. But generally speaking, I feel like it went pretty smooth. So right now we've got the kid carts on there, and that looks like that's going pretty smooth too. So at any rate, use Discord, but remember that everything on Discord also follows our general code of conduct, right? So again, when you're on Discord, be good to each other. One thing to make sure everybody understands is the start zone procedure, and I want to congratulate everybody. I mean, we really had a really good job this morning in terms of doing that. So just for those of you who weren't here, the start zone procedure is you're going to exit the grid, you're going to do a full lap. You are coming back to green. The pole sitter will start the race, but here's the deal. You've got to get into the start zone. So there's 4 cones placed rather close to turn 1. You have to go through the first set of cones, and then you can fire. As long as you do that, everything is okay. The race starts when the pole sitter starts the race. So if the pole sitter starts the race before you guys get to the start zone, the race is still going to start. They're still going to wave the green flag, and the pole sitter will, at that point, receive a penalty. Make sure to go in there and look at the track management officiating section that I have in there too. And I just want to remind everybody when we talk about what officials should be doing on the racetrack, and remember that their first, and this is an order of importance, their first order of importance is their personal safety. They're out there in a very dangerous situation, so they got to make sure that they're safe. Number 2 is your safety. Number 3 is the efficient management of the event. And then number 4 is officiating. Officiating will be done as good as possible, but we don't have marshals up in stands like we do at events like Stars, or you'll see at SCUSA or ROC or USPKS. So please be cognizant of the fact that that's not what happens here at local and more regional racing. But we are going to be paying attention, but we're looking for the bigger things. We may not catch everything. That's kind of how it goes. So that goes back to the code of conduct and the culture. Treat each other good. Make sure to read the Vortex Danger. A lot of times, and it's kind of a tactical thing that I put in the regulations, but the Vortex Danger is the cause of most incidents that you'll see, especially here, the way that the corners lay out. So if you're newer, make sure to go in and read that and stay out of the Vortex of Danger, which is usually where problems caused. Other than that, if you guys have specific questions, I did just want to highlight a few of those things. Start zone again, come to it slowly, fire off after you get into the start zone. Everything is okay. This morning was fine. If you have any questions, please let us know. For those of you that are coming in the afternoon that might be looking for pre-tech, We don't actually technically do pre-tech anymore. You are bound to maintain the safety of your vehicle throughout the entirety of the event. So that was agreed to as part of your registration. So please make sure that you do. Our tech staff can definitely do spot checks on you throughout the weekend, either coming off of scales or in tech. Make sure, as a reminder, and I forgot to remind everybody this morning, it is critically important that you guys follow the weight and ballast regulations that are in the book. Everything has to be at least double nutted, or it has to have a single nut and a pin. It has to have at least a 35 millimeter washer. Those things are absolutely critical to the whole operation, right? So please take a look at your stuff right now. Make sure that's done. We had a critical loss a couple years ago at a track where a weight came off and was hit by a cart and went into the pit area where it impacted a person and was rather damaging. So at that point, we wanted to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And I've checked. All of you are doing an absolutely fantastic job. Did catch a couple, so please make sure that you guys are doing that. Other than that, if you all have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, enjoy your afternoon. And love to hear from all of you, customers at racewrp.com. Let us know how you like the split schedule or didn't. Anything that you guys went through throughout the day you think could be improved. I like to hear those things because that helps me focus on what we've got to do. So thanks everybody for being here on a cold day, and really appreciate the time that you've spent and the energy you put in to come out here, and I hope we all have a great afternoon racing. Thank you.
Kyle, I need a new 219 chain. I need a 77 tooth roof sprocket. I need some more chain lube, and I need it probably as soon as like tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, are you even listening? Like, we need this to run this weekend.
Want anything else?
What do you mean?
I already got it in the Kart on Acceleration Kart Racing's online store, bro. All orders over $200 get free shipping.
Oh, throw in a set of tires.
Done.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free on orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Shop akr.com.
Are you looking for an advantage in your competition? Well, Kart Class has done the hard work for you. We've travelled to your racetracks to give you the inside knowledge. So what does Kart Class offer? We've got drone footage that captures the racing lines, visual markers for your braking points, acceleration zones, and the best overtaking opportunities on your racetrack. Pedal cam to show you where to brake and when to accelerate. And 360-degree footage to make sure you don't miss any parts on the racetrack. We've covered 13 racetracks in the United States. And Australia, you're up next. So visit kartclass.com to get your track information.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From
One final
Formula
item I want to make sure everybody knew, and I forgot, I wasn't looking at my notes, for all hot laps, geez, talking like a sprint car driver, for all warm-ups, we are going to move to issuing the checkered flag on the back straightaway to help us kind of stay on time a little bit. We lost a little bit of time this morning doing that. So all the checkers, you'll see that back probably right before the S's. So be looking for the checkered flag there at that point. Once you see it, obviously you'll pull in. Thank you for your help on that.
Kid karts, you need to be up on track on grid. Kid karts up on track on grid. We are going green here shortly. If you are not on track on grid and you're in kid karts, you're in the wrong place right now. Kid karts up on grid on track. And we are 2 laps to go here for the Kid Kart feature here for the Kid Kart program. Looks like we have 1 stopped over on the exit of the Daytona banking. This layout that we did, we actually went back to the roots here and went on the retro old school layout. A little bit smaller, about a half mile in length, and we figured that it'd be a little bit easier for these kiddos to navigate their way through. Kyler Hendrickson currently is leading the way out in front over Diesel Maxwell in P number 2. Here's a split screen of your guys' view right now so you can see the top camera coming out of that final corner and then the start-finish straightaway. We're on static camera right now. This is the shot coming out of Daytona Corner heading over into the south side hairpin. Looking on my screen right now, Casey Hendrickson out in front. Fastest kart on track as well. Best lap on lap number 5 previously was a 40.309. Diesel Maxwell currently sets P2. P3 goes to Parker Moore, P4 to James Fox, P5 to Enzo Seiner, and P6 to Miles Hale. Checkered flag is out. It should be out this time by, or white flag just came out. Checkered flag next time by for Kyler Hendrickson, set to take the checkered flag in the win here for the Kid Kart Final. First one of the season on the new Indy Karting Challenge here at Whiteland Raceway Park. Diesel Maxwell just came across the stripe to receive the white flag. One more time to go for Diesel to get P number 2. Parker Moore set for P number 3. Our flagman, Adam Burrows, is down in the old school start-finish stand. As he goes to reach for the checkered flags, he's got to do a little bit of over-under here to try to get the white flag in the last kart, and the checkered flag out for Kyler. So checkered flag out now. Kyler Hendrickson taking the win here for Kid Kart Final. Diesel Maxwell not quite across the stripe just yet, is set for P number 2. Diesel coming up the hill now in the final 2 left-hand corners down towards the start-finish straight. Diesel Maxwell comes across in P number 2. So A-Max Racing goes 1-2. Parker Moore in P3, kart number 66, I believe, is going to be the 3rd or 4th kart to come across the stripe here now. So there's your top 3 on the left-hand side. Kyler Hendrickson, Diesel Maxwell, 1-2. Parker Moore just not coming across the stripe for P3. Enzo Seiner comes across for P4. James Fox for P5. Miles Hale for P6. Stella Hendrickson in P7th. And Grace Geist registered in 8th. So that'll do it for the Kid Kart program. Up next is the second half of the of the event this weekend. Micro and Mini is up next for warm-ups, followed by 206 Heavy, 206 Supermaster, K8 Junior, then 206 Light. Warm-ups will be 5 minutes in length. Qualifying will also be 5 minutes long, same rotation as well, ending with the 206 Light, starting with your micros and your minis. Then we're going to go into the heats. Heats will be 5 minutes plus 2 laps. Again, same rotation for warm-ups and qualifying. And the final will be 10 minutes plus 2 laps for all classes here. Same rotation as well from warm-up, qualifying, heats, and final. If you want to watch this free, you can continue watching now. Warm-ups and qualifying will be free to watch here on YouTube on Kart Chaser. And then after that, when we get to heats and the final, that will be exclusive on our Kart Chaser Premium members is what you have to be in order to view that. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe for Kart Chaser Premium, where you can then watch heats and the final, not only for this event, but for any Kart Chaser events as well. So it's Kart Chaser Grassroots, as well as all the national and major series that Kart Chaser goes to, including Stars, SCUSA, and USPKS. Kart Chaser also has 3 other events going on this weekend as well. They're currently out in Phoenix right now for the Road Tax Regional Series. They're down at TSRS Houston for the TSRS Series, and they're also at Atlanta Motorsports Park right now for their club event like we're putting on right now. So if you're considering it, you probably should think about becoming a Kart Chaser Premium member. That is $10.99 a month on all non-ISO devices. If you register on a Apple product, it will make you pay an additional $2 to $3. So it's probably best for yourself if you want to register on a non-ISO device, and then you can go ahead and go to YouTube and access it through your Apple devices after that. So we are set to go for warm-ups here. Micros and Mini is going on track next. Following is 206 Heavy, and then 206 Supermaster, K8 Junior, and 206 Light, all coming to you live here on Kart Chaser. And we are on track now for your micros and mini Swifts. Again, these are two classes combined at once. So far out in front, looks like we have a transponder that hasn't been assigned yet. So once that comes through, then we will have a name for you guys. With the other competitors right now on track in their quick warm-up, I guess you can call it, making sure that everything is up to speed and rolling well. Kason Hendrickson, who we saw earlier today, Titus Roberts. A lot of these drivers are doing double duty, both in the 206 Cadet and the Micro and Mini Swift. And as of now, we have Kason Hendrickson, Titus Roberts, Danny O'Gara, doing double header. Dominic Gaddis also doing double header. Austin Taylor Will Fishingter is doing double header as well. I have been corrected 3 times on that name. Probably going to be a 4th after that. Dalton Sears did not do morning and afternoon. Is only doing afternoon. Billy McCain, who we've seen on a regular basis here in the micros and minis, also on track. Elam Stoner, I believe, also ran in the morning. But again, this is the morning. I guess you can call it a warm-up or practice, whichever you want to call it. This is the first time some of these kiddos have been on track. Same layout that has been provided for practice all weekend long right now. So we're watching micros and minis on track. Next is your 206 heavies. After that's going to be 206 Supermaster, KA Junior, and 206 Light. Again, 5 minutes is how long practice is going to go along with qualifying. Heats are going to be 5 minutes plus 2 laps. Final is going to be 10 minutes plus 2 laps. So we're going to sit back and watch these kiddos on track here for their morning warm-up. And again, we did the split in the day. We did most of the morning. We did half the morning events. Then we did the kid karts in the middle. And now we're doing the second half this afternoon. The weather's starting to heat up just a little bit. Earlier today, it was about 33, 32 degrees. And then it warmed up throughout the day. Now it's up to about 44. I think the high today is supposed to be somewhere 45, 46. So we're getting close about where the track is going to be the hottest that it is today. It already got rain on this morning, so it was already up to temp. Cooled off just a little bit, especially in the newer section when we didn't have anyone but the kid karts running on the old layout, so the track warmer than it was when we first started this morning, so racing might be a little bit closer. We saw earlier today, micros and minis usually put on a good show, as well as the 206 classes all the way through. KA Junior is going to be one you're going to want to watch. The KA Senior race was a interesting one with the top 3 going a little stagnant, but however, it was still an interesting battle all the way through. And of course, 206 Light, the sister class, the 206 Medium, always puts on a good show as well. As of now, Danny O'Gara, fastest car out on track. Kason Hendrickson, who you're watching now, kart number 2, that is an AMAX entry. Running, I believe that is also an Evo chassis in that second position. Titus Roberts rounding out your top 3. So we're going to sit back and continue to watch here for the next. It looks like we got about a minute, so we'll stay live all the way through. But again, we are going to go straight into 206 Heavy due to the fact that we're just a little bit behind schedule, not too much to worry about. We'll be able to pick it back up throughout this afternoon race. So that is kart number 2 there of Kason Hendrickson. Again, that is an AMAX Racing entry. Danny O'Gara also out on track. If I'm not mistaken, he is in a MPG Kart Republic. Titus Roberts, I believe, is under new gen. Last year, at least, was under new gen. May have changed for this year. Austin Taylor, another new gen entry. Dominic Gaddis, new gen as well. Dalton Sears, who I believe, and I could be mistaken, is under AMAX, is along with Elam Stoner under AMAX as well. So all sorts of different local based teams here at Whiteland Raceway Park. AMAX, Top Kart, MPG, New Gen are the big 4 when it comes to all the teams based here at Whiteland Raceway Park. You can see them running on the regional and national level as well. So right now, looks like checkered flag is out on track. Kason Hendrickson, the first one to receive the checkered flag. So up next will be your 206 Heavies. On track now is your 206 Senior Heavy, and some familiar names that we saw earlier today in the morning sessions that we now see in this afternoon. Who you're watching on screen now, that is car number 66. That is Adam Dietz, who was up in the contingency for the win for the 206 Masters earlier today. Now finds himself back in a senior class in the heavy category. Evan McCorkadale ran in the 206 medium. Matt Geis also ran in the 206 Masters. Troy Toney, another one we saw in the 206 Masters. Brian Williams on track as well. That was running in the Masters class. And then we have an unregistered name right now, so hopefully get a name for you guys here shortly. And I believe problem solved right there. So that is the 5 or 6 karts that are going to be running here in the 206 heavy class, and sometimes you'll also see some translation from the 206 medium, heavy, and light. I believe Evan McCorkadale will also run in the light category as well. Could be mistaken. Most of the time I am, but we will find out here shortly. So 206 heavy on track. Micros and minis have already been wrapped up for their morning warm-up. Next time we'll see them on grid is for qualifying. 206 heavy on track now. Then Super Masters will be out after that. Then KA Junior. That is probably going to be the fastest class we'll see this afternoon. Second to the micros and the minis, and third to the 206 lights. So it's going to go a little bit quicker this afternoon than we saw earlier today. And as it says on your screen, I am the commentator Caleb Smock here. That's kind of cool that we have all this new features coming to you guys. We're still learning here up in the booth. It's very happy to be partnered with Kart Chaser here for this entire season. If you recall, last year we did do our own broadcast, but now we linked up with the big boys, so to speak. So now this is being broadcasted on the Kart Chaser National Series. So big thanks to them and all the sponsors that they bring, as well as our local sponsors as well that make this all possible as we continue to sit back and watch here for your 206 heavy practice / warm-up. And again, this has no implication of how they're going to run in the qualifying feature or heat race. This is just so everyone can make sure that their karts maybe break off the rest if they sat a little bit too long in the off season. Drivers as well, since we had a little bit of a lengthy period of not being able to get on track, and this should allow for some good racing here this afternoon. That is Evan McCorkadale that we saw earlier today. On the right-hand side of your screen behind him is Matt Geis, who picked up a win for the 206 Masters. McCorkadale was up in the contingency for a win in the 206 medium. Unfortunately came back with just a podium, and now finds himself running with the mix between himself and the other drivers as well. Some from the Masters, some from the medium. Some are going to be going into light. Looks like we have one stopped there on the inside entering the Daytona corner. That's a good shot there of the privateer of Adam Dietz in kart number 66, and then McCorkadale behind him. Following that is Matt Geis. These three, they got garages located right next to each other here at WRP. They're good friends. They've ran, I think, ever since Andy and Sarah bought this track, they've all ran together. They share data. They share some good times here as well. And they're not quite on a team, but almost. They're considered privateers, but they do help each other out when needed with the good camaraderie that's here at WRP. About a minute to go here in 206 heavy practice. After that, we'll go into 206 Super Masters and then KA Junior 206 Light. If you'd like to catch up with timing and scoring, you can do that. We have now no longer doing our own timing system. We are now on Alpha Timing. If you go to Alpha Timing's website, which I believe is live.alphatiming.co.uk/WRP, and go all the way to the right-hand side, you'll find the WRP timing and scoring, where it has its own breakdown of what lap they're on, what the last time was, how far they're behind, the gaps, the best, the delta. So much information to break down there, as well as a quick positioning of where they are on track. So it's some cool information to keep yourself up with. If you would like to catch up and your competitor here are going to be a competitor, you can check out the Discord link that is on Whiteland Raceway Park's website. If you want to go all the way down to the bottom of competitors, there'll be a link where you can sign up for the Discord, where it has all the events, the series announcements, events documents, alpha registration, and how to work that for registration. A help desk with a human that is not AI, a human that can help you through any problems you may have. Driver's meeting, which is not going to be used unless it's actually during driver's meeting. Then it has all the results. Whatever classes are running today, we'll have your results from there. So if you are a competitor here, good idea to download the Discord so you can see the results. We're going to go for qualifying, and it's also a better flow of communication between us up here in the booth running the show, so to speak, and then everyone behind the scenes who make this happen. So a lot of new changes happening here at WRP. We look forward to what the season holds so far, and I think that this is going to be set for a good 2024 season. And again, this is no longer the WRP Club Race. This is the Indy Karting Challenge that you're watching live here on Kart Chaser for the 2024 season. 206 Supermasters have now taken track and out for their afternoon session. I thought it was still the morning, but it is not. So they're on track for their warm-up. Tom Harleman was the first one to lead them to the green flag. Cart number 18, Privateer entry. You may have seen him. He is a good candidate. I'm trying to make sure I have the right words here. Great candidate, I should say, for karting, especially here in the Midwest. He is a huge promoter of racing here in Indiana, in Ohio, all the regional series. You can find him at Newcastle Motorsports Park. He makes several trips out to MCC. He runs the Buckeye Karting Challenge. And here at Whiteland Raceway Park, he calls Newcastle Motorsports Park home, but he does venture out and try to get all sorts of experience from different drivers, different drivers' perspectives and tracks as well. If you follow him on Facebook, you can follow his story and his journey that he has. Some good content there, and he keeps up to date with all the events that are going down here for 206 karting in the Indiana altogether, and also in the Midwest. So a good liaisons is the word I was looking for here for 206 karting in the Midwest. He is out on track. Danny Cutshaw finds himself back on track as well. Richard Love, Michael Wells, Travis Wilbur, the father of Levi Wilbur, who we saw in the 206 medium, and I believe we're going to see in the 206 light as well, out on track. I believe Travis and Levi both ran at Daytona Kart Weeks on the big track, not on the sprint racing track, but on the road racing series. I saw them down in the paddock next to all the shifters and laid out Yamahas. They went out there and had some good fun down in Daytona towards the end of 2023 in the Florida sun. So good to see them venturing out as well and coming back here to supporting the grassroots racing itself, as long with Whiteland Raceway Park. So we're going to sit back and watch here for the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the morning warm-up. So far, Tom Harleman out in front for 206 Supermasters practice. And again, after this, we're going to get into qualifying. Same order that we ran during warm-up. And we're going to go to heat races. 5 minutes plus 2 laps is going to be the length of those. After that, it's going to go into the final. Again, if you would like to watch the event all the way through with the heat and the final, go on to Kart Chaser's homepage here. You can join and subscribe and become a premium member. If you are a premium member here on Kart Chaser, you can watch not only the heats and finals for this race here at Whiteland Raceway Park, but also all the grassroots racing they do with TSRS, Atlanta Motorsports Park with their club series, Rotax and their shootout that they're doing currently right now out in Arizona, as well as the other races that they do with CKNA, Stars, SCUSA, and USPKS with all the feature events, and the Miami Grands that happens in the summer. And it's also a good support for a organization that's been doing a lot to build up not only broadcasting and marketing here for karting, but also just spreading the word of karting, making it more of a household sport in name and making it more of a professional series that we want to see it turn into. It's still got the home grassroots feel to it, but it also is starting to venture out into some bigger and better things. So $10.99 a month is all it's going to cost on non-ISO devices. We recommend you do it on a non-Apple product. After that, you can then switch it over on your YouTube app on your phone and watch it however you want. $10.99 a month, you can cancel at any time. It's a good way to just keep up with all the karting happening here in the U.S. and Midwest. So with about a minute to go here for a 206 Supermaster practice, up next is going to be the fastest class of the day, the KA Juniors, set to go live.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're going to need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes,
Yep.
gloves,
Yep.
rib protectors.
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Here at MPG Motorsports, our main goal is to provide the best pathway into professional motorsports for our entire team, drivers and mechanics alike. We're based out of Whiteland Raceway Park in Indiana. For more information, contact us at chase@mpg-motorsports.com.
We're at a commercial break.
And welcome back here for warm-up for the second half of WRP's race number 1 here. You are watching the Indy Karting Challenge on Grassroots here for Kart Chaser as we're under warm-up right now. This is the KA Juniors. This will be the fastest class that we have on track for the afternoon. KA Senior, which is the fastest class that we have for the weekend, ran earlier today. So now we're on track with the juniors. Again, these are 12 to 15 years of age. It's the same as the K100, just with a little bit of a restrictor and a little bit of a narrow tire in the rear, along with lighter weights. Sometimes if these two classes ran together, you'll actually see some of these kiddos competing with the senior level guys. Not the biggest class that we have here this weekend. It is 6 strong, but out of those 6 drivers, I'd probably put these kiddos up with any senior level driver that we have out here to hold themselves in their own. Christopher Yotze is currently the fastest on track. Landon Brewer P2, Ryan Mort in 3rd for the warm-up. Dane Van Dyke, who we have not seen this morning, came back here to run the juniors for the KA100 Junior in P4. Mason Gallian in P5, and Lucian Laser, who we also saw earlier this morning running in the 206 junior class. So 6 deep, and it's probably going to be a close 3-kart battle for the lead all day long. Again, you're watching the warm-up right now. Warm-up and qualifying are free if you're watching under Kart Chaser. You can become a premium member for the Heat and the Final. So up next, after this, we're going to get into the 206 Light. Again, another very competitive class. Not the fastest one we're going to see, but the 206 engine puts out a very good pack race for sure, and especially being in the lighter class, it allows the chassis to flex more. This is carrying less weight than some of the other classes where you have to put some extra lead on the kart. We've seen a lot of transition over from morning and afternoon. Christopher, one of them, Landon, Ryan, all ran earlier this morning. Lewis and Laser as well as what we've seen in the 206 Heavy and Masters, from Masters this morning to Heavy to now, and I'm sure we're going to see some more as well with the 206 Light and the Medium, some transition between the two classes. So after we get done with this one and we go over to 206 Light, we will then go over into qualifying. The order is going to stay the same all the way through, with warm-up being Micro, 206 Heavy, 206 Supermaster, KA Junior, 206 Light. Same order for qualifying, Heat, and Final. Warm-up is going to be 5 minutes. Qualifying also will be 5 minutes in length. Heat race will be 5 minutes plus 2 laps out on track. Final will be 10 minutes plus 2 laps. So we'll double the amount of time that they do in the heat race, which will allow plenty of time and plenty of track time for these drivers to try to sort themselves out, to figure out who is going to get the first win of the 2024 season with the new Indy Karting Challenge that is happening here at Whiteland Raceway Park. And that's just a little bit of a glimpse of all the upgrades that have come along over this offseason. If you recall back to 2 years ago, major upgrades across the track. Track expansion, the entire track doubled in size, as not only as length but also as width. We widened out some of the narrow parts of the track, smoothed everything out, new paving all the way through. The introduction of the overhead grid for pit out, as well as the expansion of the pit parking so that it's no longer gravel and grass lot. It is now paved all the way through. It is so smooth to push a kart stand out. Don't have to worry about those front wheels digging in and tipping a kart off the stand. We got new shower facilities that came along last year, and then into this year, you could kind of see it off the side of the track is the new FIA style curbing. That is all the way around. No longer is it the rubber curbs or just nothing that has been there previously. It is now FIA grade curbing all the way around this facility. Along with that, some new partners came on board, partnership with Kart Chaser here to do the broadcast. Joe Janowski brought himself over here, as long as some other employees that he has with Stars, to help improve this facility and the layout and function of the weekend even more, and just overall improvements all the way through. There on that left-hand side on that static camera, you saw a patch where it used to be a bump going into that Daytona corner last year. That has been smoothed out, and so we should be able to experiment some more like we did last year with different layouts to see how they flow, as we're trying to find the true quote-unquote national layout that I think everyone's been asking about here at Whiteland Raceway Park. So we are now just getting the checkered flag here for KA Junior practice. Up next is 206 Light, and then after that we'll then move on into qualifying. Ryan Mort was the fastest one here for KA Junior in that MPG Kart Republic. Christopher Yotzi in P2. Landon Brewer P3. Van Dyke 4th, Mason Gallion 5th, Lewis and Laser rounds out the field in 6th. So that will do it for the second to last group of warm-up. Up next for the final group for the warm-up of the morning or afternoon, 206 Light set to go on track next. everyone. On track now is the 206 Senior Light. This is the final group that's going to run here for warm-up, qualifying, heat race, and feature. This is going to be probably one of the closest races we're going to see here this afternoon as far as the senior category goes. And let's go down some of the names that will be running here this afternoon. Riley Baldwin, the privateer on the MPG chassis, works a little, or sorry, with the Kart Republic chassis, works a little bit with MPG. AJ Ludd running on the Top Kart USA entry. Levi Wilbur is a privateer entry running, which I believe is on an OTK. Sorry, I'm mistaken. Wilbur runs on a Ricardo, which is not OTK. That is under the Burrell Art family. After that, you get down into, I believe that is, not mistaken, Gensheimer. That is Ryan Gensheimer, Kyler Peebles, Keegan Day, Eli Fox, AJ Ludd, Riley Baldwin, Braden Heber, Nick Patton, and Richard Dobbins. So Kyle Land, I think his name I forgot, along with Brady Johnson and Dominic Stancombe. So that is all the competitors we're going to see here in the 206 Senior Light practice. There on your screen is a kart number 2, Kyle Landon on that Top Kart USA entry. Following behind him is the Ricardo of, if I'm not mistaken, I just said the name. That is Levi Wilbur on the Ricardo Burrell Art. Again, the Ricardo is under the Burrell Art family along with the Charles Leclerc. Johnson in that pack as well, and just behind Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, should be the kart's 2-1 of Nick Patton. So we're going to sit back here and watch the rest of practice continue on as we have 2 minutes and 40-some seconds left here for your practice of the afternoon events. And again, this is the last group here for warm-up, qualifying up next with Micro Zeman. So that will do it for the warm-up here for 206 Light. Up next is going to be qualifying. So if you're in micro and mini, you need to be up on grid. You're about 2 minutes away from going out on track. So if you want to make qualifying and have a good starting spot here for the heat races, make sure you are up on grid for micro and mini. After that, we're going to go to 206 Heavy, 206 Supermaster, K8 Junior, 206 Light, set to go for their 5-minute qualifying session here live on Kart Chaser. And here we go for qualifying with your micros and minis. First one across the line was Danny O'Gara on that Kart Republic MPG entry. He was running a top car earlier today in the 206 program, now finds himself in a Kart Republic 4. And there he is on your screen for your micros and your minis racing under MPG. If you recall back to the Winter Tour second round at Miami, he picked up his first national win at the SCUSA Winter Series at Homestead, Miami, where they were running that layout backwards there for rounds 3 and 4. So he has some good momentum going forward. He's also been running at, if I'm not mistaken, 103rd Street down in Jacksonville at Jacksonville Motorsports Park, as well as WKA at Daytona Kart Weeks on the sprint track in Daytona Beach, Florida. Kason Hendrickson, currently the fastest kart on track as well. Kason also, this is not his first go-around on a kart track. He's already breaking off the rust, so to speak, also running in the WK race at Daytona. Lincoln Willie out on track, kart number 44, currently set P3. Titus Roberts in the 4th spot. Owen Gashoni goes up into, for a moment, went up there into P4, now finds himself back into P7. Will Fischtinger also finds himself up now into the top 5 in P5. Dominic Gaddis falls back into P6. Asher Ferris in P8. Austin Taylor, who was a little late making up to grid, able to go out on track on that MPG Kart Republic. Someone else who has had some experience. They did, I believe it was 2.5 to 3 weeks of testing down in Miami, at Homestead, Miami, before the first round of the SCUSA Winter Tour. Finds himself in P9. Dalton Sears in 10th. Titus Roberts in 11th. Bentley McCain in the 12th spot. Reagan Hodges, who we saw earlier today running in the 206 cadet program in P13. And Elam Stoner, the sister to herself in the 14th position. So that is your top 14 rundown so far. We still have a little less than 2 minutes to go here for qualifying. And qualifying is 5 minutes in total. There is no 2 laps added since it is qualifying. So as soon as that checkered flag goes out, that is the last lap that is eligible to put down a fast time here for the qualifying session. So micros and minis on track now. Up next, we have our 206 heavies. So 206 heavies will be the next one to go out on track. This is going to be the second fastest class that we see in the afternoon. KA Junior will be the fastest, and they come here to micros and minis. And then the 206 Light is the third fastest category that we see here at Whiteland Raceway Park for the afternoon session. So there is a look now on Danny O'Gara in karts number 267. Currently set provisional pull with the 47.434. Kason Hendrickson P2 with a 47.567. And I believe these two also are going back and forth in the 206 cadet program as well. So we continue to watch and sit here. 51 seconds remain in qualifying. So about one more lap is what Danny is going to get. He came across the line right at 46 seconds. So he might get one more if he's able to somehow drop another half a second here. But I think that this will be his final lap before receiving the checkered flag. And I also think that that is going to do it for the rest of the field. So now comes down to make or break for provisional pole. Danny O'Gara slowed it down last lap. Lap 4 is his fastest of a 47.434. Lap 5 last lap with a 47.503. Kason Hendrickson in P2. Lap 4 was his fastest of a 47.567. Same story, slowed down by about a tenth. Last lap around of a 47.718. So let's see it. Can Danny O'Gara this lap pick it up just a little bit more to increase his time? Can Kason Hendrickson maybe take it to him and take pull away? Here's the checkered flag across the line. 48.201. Danny O'Gara slowing it down by a significant margin. Kason Hendrickson, does he make his way across the line? Does he improve? Yes, but not quite enough. It was a 47.509. Dominic Gaddis also improved to a 47.727. But I believe that that is going to do it. The top 8 have all gotten the checkered flag. So Danny O'Gara will be on pole position for the heat race with that 47.434. Kason Hendrickson will join him on the outside of run number 1 with the 47.509. Still a couple of karts still yet to come across the line here, but I believe the top 2 are all but locked in for your micros and minis. So on track next for qualifying will be your 206 Heavy live here on Kart Chaser at the Indy Karting Challenge.
commercial brick.
Are you looking for an advantage in your competition? Well, Kart Class has done the hard work for you. We've travelled to your racetracks to give you the inside knowledge. So what does Kart Class offer? We've got drone footage that captures the racing lines, visual markers for your braking points, acceleration zones, and the best overtake opportunities on your racetrack. Pedal cam to show you where to brake and when to accelerate, and 360-degree footage to make sure you don't miss any parts on the racetrack. We've covered 13 racetracks in the United States, and Australia, you're up next. So visit kartclass.com to get your track information.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
You need it? We got it. At Kart Heat Parts, we are your complete online aftermarket kart part superstore. From chains to bearings to bumpers and components, we've got it in stock and ready to ship straight to your door from our base in Ontario, Canada. Check us out online at karteparts.ca.
And we are back for qualifying here. 2:06 heavy out on track. My name is Caleb Smock, and I'm the commentator here at Whiteland Raceway Park. You are watching live on Kart Chaser Grassroots, and we're going to bring you the entire 2024 season here at Whiteland Raceway Park, and some interesting storylines along with it that are just developing here in this first race. They'll probably pick up as the season goes along, and now you're watching the fastest two in this 2:06 heavy category. That is out in front, Matt Geist, 2-1 earlier today in 2:06 medium, now finds himself currently second overall for qualifying, followed or being currently pushed by the provisional pole sitter of Evan McCorkadale at Kart 19, Burrell Art, in the second position on your screen, currently sitting in pole overall. Troy Toney, we saw earlier today in the 2:06 master category, had a good run there for a possible battle for the win, but ended up having to settle for just a podium. Finds himself currently P3 overall. Storyline shakeup, Adam Dietz goes up into P2, so he is now the second fastest kart on track. He is not in that main two-pack. There he is in that third position there from that static camera in that silver chassis with the black helmet. Kart number 66, Adam Dietz, currently sitting in the second spot. Matt Geist actually fell down into fourth as Troy Toney still holds on to that third position. Still 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in qualifying overall. Again, 5 minutes in total is how long qualifying takes per each class. So once the checkered flag comes out, that is going to be the end of their qualifying session. Looking at the times, Matt Geist said last time by, he went purple, 50.132 for Matt Geist. If you want reference of why that's impressive, Evan McCorkadale last time by went at 50.591 in P2. So Matt Geist found 4/10 out of that kart, and he is now pulling away on pole position. McCorkadale, like I said, P2 at that 50.5. Adam Dietz, 50.608. Troy Toney, 50.882. Brian Williams sitting at a 51.362. Kenneth Owens sitting at a 52.267. Brendan Lorrick is sitting at a 55.929, and Chris Moore in 8th at a 58.487. So right now, that is the fastest 2 karts on track. And now, as it looks like, guys decided to let McCorkadale go on by, and he came down right in front of Adam Dietz. So that lap might be spoiled for Adam Dietz. I don't think he was had to back out of it, but now he's going to get a tow and able to maybe improve his time this time to improve his time overall. But right now, Matt Guy is currently sitting, well, now about 0.3 faster, as Troy Toney was able to pick up the pace as well. He went a 50.455. He's only 0.3 back from your provisional pole sitter, I should say, of Matt Geist out in front. McCorkadale sitting at a 50.598. He was not able to improve his time, was about 7/1000th off of his previous best time now, as there is McCorkadale in that red Burrell Art, kart number 19, coming across the line. Is he able to improve this lap? He does to the pole for the moment. Here comes Adam Dietz, 49.356 for Adam Dietz out in front. Evan McCorkadale, who improved, went to a 49.808. Matt Geist went to a 51.173 of his last lap. His fastest lap was a 50.132. So that is the 3 fastest karts out on track. Troy Toney currently gets bumped down into P4. He improved his lap time last time of a 50.260. Checkered flag is now out on track, and I believe both McCorkadale, or all of McCorkadale, Dietz, Geist, and Troy Toney will get one more lap. Looks like Brennan was the first one to come across the line to get the checkered flag. And now let's see it up through the final 2 corners. And it looks like that may hinder McCorkadale's time as he comes across the stripe. He's not able to improve. Neither is Adam Dietz. Adam Dietz actually did improve. He goes to provisional pole of a 49.356. McCorkadale to P2. Troy Toney comes across the line, improves, but maintains P3. And Matt Geist gets shuffled back into 4th. Brian Williams in P5. Kenneth Owens in 6th. Brennan Lorick in P7, and Chris Moore rounds out the field in 8th. So that'll do it for 206 Super Masters here for qualifying. Up next is going to be the fastest group of the afternoon, KA Junior, set to go on track next once 206 Supermaster comes off here shortly. And you are watching this all live on Kart Chaser Grassroots. Correction on my part. That was 206 Heavy. 206 Supermaster is going on track next, and then we get into KA100 Junior. So my bad on the commentary side of it. That was 206 Heavy. 206 Supermaster is set to go on track next. 2:06 Supermaster is now on track for their qualifying run. And the fastest time so far is done by that man on your screen right there. Kart number 18, Privateer. Tom Harleman currently holds a provisional pull of a 54.101. Lewis Maskpoff is sitting in P2 at the 55.179. Danny Cutshaw currently sets P3 of a 58.232. That is your top three so far, as it looks like we have a yellow out over into turn one. One of the karts went off track on the exit of turn one. They are able to get him out of the way of the racing line. It looks like the driver's also carrying his kart, so he appears to be fine and under his own power, so that is glad to hear that. Unfortunate for him, though, he's going to have to go in the back of the heat race. But good news for him, if you were to go out in any of the three major ones, this is probably the best one to do it because you can still pick up more time in the heat race along with the feature. There's Tom Harleman going by on the right-hand side of your screen. That, again, is going into that Daytona banked corner. Good shot of that entire backstretch you can see coming out of turn 5 on the back left-hand side of your screen, through that chicane on the little bit of the right center side of your screen, through that Daytona corner, and into what we like to call the south side hairpin before you make your way through the rest of the circuit. So about 2 minutes to go here in qualifying. Harleman's still up on front. He actually plateaued on his time, so 52.102 is still his best. Last time by was a 52.176. Lewis Moskpuff went a 52.609. He is about a half a second behind. Michael Wells currently got pushed up into the third position, with Danny Cutshaw falling back into fourth, and Tom Stevens rounding out your top 5. So that is Tom Harleman, and again, there was that yellow going into turn 1, so he took his foot out of it, and that's probably why his times started to slow down. Let's see if he can't pick it up this time as he makes his way out of the south side hairpin, making his way up the hill to the inner hairpin. And this time by will be about 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining when he makes his way across the stripe. Estimated about 1 minute 15 in total. So he makes his way across. Does he improve? He does. 51.414 for Tom Harleman. Opens up about what is now an 8/10 second gap over your second placement of Lewis Moskpiff running in P2. Michael Wells, who was in third, he went a little bit faster, though, up to provisional pole for Michael Wells, 51.277, and now the fastest kart in this field. Tom Harleman gets demoted down into P2, and he is roughly about 0.137 tenths of a second back on your leader. Moskpiff is still P3, almost a second behind the two out in front. And there's still a little bit of time, about 50 seconds still yet to go. So there's Tom Harleman running in that car number 18 Privateer entry. He's going to have one more lap after this. So this is the second to last lap for him to try to go back into provisional pole here. Let's see it across the stripe. Last time by, he went at 51.4. Well, it's about the same, 51.457 to his fastest lap of 51.414. So he's going to have this lap to make his final attempt for provisional pole. Michael Wells, let's see if he's able to improve. He is not. 52.040. So major drop off there for Michael Wells. Not sure if he got caught up in lap traffic or if there's a yellow on track somewhere, but he is not able to improve. Lewis Moskpiff in P2, still sitting at a 52.025, about 7 tenths down on the fastest time, 6 tenths down on the P2. And it looks like Tom Harleman puts his hand up in the air, and he is not going to take the final lap, I don't believe, unless he was waving at what he thought was going to be a potential caution. But either way, it looks like this lap might be a wash for him. Joseph Stevens, first one to make his way across the stripe here to receive the checkered flag. Tom Stevens also makes his way through. Both do not improve their position. Tom Harleman comes across the stripe. He actually slowed down by about 2 seconds that lap, so I think he was already starting to back it back down to save the tires. He is locked into P2. Moskpiff comes across in P3. Improved his time slightly, but is not going to be enough to move up any positions. Michael Wells comes across, not able to improve on his 51.2. He went to 51.4, and so I believe that is now checkered flag for all karts on track. So that is going to do it for your 206 Supermaster qualifying. Michael Wells and Tom Harleman will start on the front row here this afternoon for your 206 Supermasters. On track next is your KA100 Juniors, and after that we will then get into our 206 Light. After we get done with that from qualifying, we'll move into our heat races, so don't go anywhere and stay tuned for the Indy Karting Challenge, brought to you here live on Kart Chaser. And here we go for KA 100 Junior qualifying. Well underway now. And some familiar names that you've seen up towards the front. Christopher Yutzi currently leading the way of KA 100 Junior Ryan Moore P2, AJ Stoner in the third position, Landon Brewer in P4, and Mason Gallian in the fifth spot, Dane Van Dyke P6, and Lucian Laser in P number 7. Ryan Moore now is going to take provisional pull back from Christopher. He goes to a 45.852. Currently about 0.170 tenths of a second ahead of Christopher. This is usually one of the closest qualifying sessions that we see both in the K100 Junior and Senior category here. Typically, the faster the class, the more the qualifying is going to actually be impeccable towards the going forward into the heats in the future. If you think of 206 racing and how close they are all the way through, if you have an okay qualifying run, let's say you qualify 5th, typically you can make that back up before the time the checkered flag comes out of the heat races. Meanwhile, in KA, both junior and senior, if there's a huge incident up into turn 1, it's kind of hard to run down the field unless you have a lot more out of that go-kart than you do over the rest of the field in KA 100 Junior and Senior. So now we are watching your KA 100 Juniors. They are about 2 minutes and 45 seconds in, 2 minutes and 18 seconds to go now. Landon Brewer goes to the front. That is a MPG Kart Republic entry. Christopher Yotzi in P2 is an AMAX entry there in the 833. Trying to see if we can't find him on track. There he is. That is Christopher just behind the 812. 812 of Ryan Moore, another Kart Republic MPG entry there, who is set in P6 right now. I think that time's going to come down. It says he's about 0.6 off. That looks more correct. Ryan Moore up to the front, 44.681. Christopher Yotzi up into a 45.103. Landon Brewer, P3, teammate to Ryan Moore, of a 45.339. Mason Gallian, P4. AJ Stoner, who I believe this is the first season that he's running in the junior category. He was running in the cadets, micros, and minis. Now finds himself into P5. And again, this is new area for him to basically learn in and grow in after running in the micros and the minis. Well-established driver, usually pull away from the rest of the field. I have no doubt he is going to pick this up quickly, especially if he is ahead of the likes of Dane Van Dyke, who we normally see up towards the front 3 when it comes to the junior KA 100 Junior and 206 Junior categories. Finds himself in P6. Laser in P7 with a 47.773. So the spread on the field is about 2.5 seconds. Ryan Moore still on provisional, about 0.4 faster than Yotzi in P2 of a 45.882. Landon Brewer about half a second down his teammate Ryan Moore. AJ Stoner about 0.6 down on Ryan Moore. Mason Gallian about 0.7 of a second down. And then get to the likes of Dane Van Dyke, who's 1.1 seconds back, and I think there may be some issue with that kart. That's not normal for Van Dyke to be that far off the pace, and Lucian Laser is about 2 seconds off the pace of the rest of the field here. So roughly 30 seconds to go. We're down to the last 15. 4 minutes and 45 seconds completed as Landon Brewer improves his time, 44.570. Christopher also improves, but he doesn't have much of an answer. He went to a 44.670. Ryan Moore plateaued. He's still sitting at a 45.362 in that third spot. AJ Stoner also improves to a 45.270. He is improving, just not quick enough. And let's see, this might be the last lap. Does anyone have anything for Landon Brewer in the Kart 820 MPG entry here on that Kart Republic? As he has just a handful of corners to go here, about to take the checkered flag, coming up through the final couple of corners and across the line. What is his time going to be? Yutzi's going to be the first one across. Does he improve enough? He does not. Christopher plateaus, Ryan plateaus, Landon plateaus. AJ improved a little bit, 45.0. He got that deficit down to about a half a second, but not able to improve his position. So that is going to do it there for qualifying. Landon Brewer and Christopher Yutzi are going to be up in the top 2 on the front row. Ryan Moore, P3. AJ Stoner is going to be outside of row number 1. So that is going to do it for KA Junior. Up next is 206. It's 206 Light in the last round of qualifying here at the Indy Karting Challenge in round number 1. And again, still the heats and features still yet to come after this last group head to go to qualifying next. And we are back for the last round of qualifying here for the afternoon. 2:06 Light finding their way out on track. First lap in the book so far. Provisional pole is Kyler Peebles. 51.337 is the benchmark going forward. Dominic Stancombe currently set P2, about a 53.247, so almost 2 seconds off pace. Ryan Gensheimer currently set P3 behind, or just ahead of Eli Fox. Keegan Day P5. Brayden Johnson in 6th. Kyle Land in 7th. Levi Wilbur in 8th. AJ Ludd 9th. Riley Baldwin 10th. Richard Dobson's 11th. Braden Heber in 12th. Nick Patton rounds out the field in 13th. So that is your rundown here after lap 1. Let's focus up on the top 5. Brayden Johnson currently went provisional pole, then Heber took it. That's going to bump him back down into P2. Riley Baldwin sits P3. So your top 3 now is Heber, Johnson, Baldwin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is Stancombe and Gensheimer in the 5th position. He is the gatekeeper for the top 5. Levi Wilbur not too far off pace in that 6th spot. These times seem to have dropped all the way through in qualifying up until about lap 4. Lap 4 seems to be the plateau. Over the times can either plateau for the next lap, maybe go up just a little bit, but I think the way that the pressures are set and the temperatures here today, again, 45 degrees, so a little bit cold, colder than what some people may like here this afternoon. Set the tires so they kind of plateau around that 4th or 5th lap. We've seen a couple able to improve up on lap 6, but I think it just depends on where you position yourself as far as drafts and pushing partners go. Gensheimer, provisional pole now, 49.462. Eli Fox makes a jump up 5 positions from previous to a 49.463. So literally 1/1000 separates those two from 1st to 2nd. Brayden Johnson sits in the 2nd spot, about 4/10 back from Eli Fox and Gensheimer out in front. Heber sits in P4 and Stancombe now the gatekeeper for P5 with AJ Ludd in that 6th position. Next lap by is going to be led by Johnson here. So it's Johnson, Fox, and Gensheimer all in a pack of 3. So Fox will be the first one across the lines. Get a little bit of a push now from the 2nd placeman of, if I'm not mistaken, that should be Gensheimer there in the 2nd spot, and it is. So Fox goes up to provisional pole. Gensheimer goes to P2. Heber goes for the moment to 3rd. Here comes Riley Baldwin, up 8 spots from the previous lap to a 48.984. Currently 1/10 faster rest of the field. The first one in this class to go sub 49 seconds into the 48. So interesting to see if the other times are going to continue to drop just as fast. Eli Fox, P2, Gensheimer in that 3rd position. Fox, again, is going to be the first one back to the stripe. He's getting a little bit of a push there from Gensheimer, as it looks like they may have actually swapped positions. So this lap is going to stall out for him if Gensheimer did pass him. We're looking at about 35 seconds to make the way across the stripe. So this is going to be the final lap. They got to be careful. Gensheimer actually goes purple. 48.851 improves his time. Johnson to P2. Baldwin now falls back into P3. Was not able to improve his time from previous. Eli Fox falls back into 4th. Kyle Landon now into P5. So the new benchmark for pole from Gensheimer is a 48.851. Johnson just about 1/10 behind of a 48.968. And then it's about 1/10 back from him to Riley Baldwin of a 49.514. Last lap is this time. Who is going to have enough to try to take provisional pole position? 13 carts deep in the field. You want to be up towards the front. There is the 2 competitors, or some of the 2 competitors running for provisional pole. That is Gensheimer and the 919 out front. Fox just behind him in that gold new gen chassis. Let's see it across the line. Gensheimer able to improve. Fox improves, but not enough for provisional pole. Johnson still yet to come across the stripe. He can't improve. Landa doesn't either. So I think that's going to all but do it. Ryan Gensheimer will start on pole position with a 48.714. Eli Fox in that new gen puts himself up into P2 with a 48.800. And Brayden Johnson on the AMAX finds himself in P3 with a 49.064. He'll be joined on the outside of row number 2 by Riley Baldwin, who ran a 50.089, so about 2/10 behind your pole sitter of Ryan Gensheimer. That is going to do it for qualifying here this afternoon at Whiteland Raceway Park. Up next, we're going to go heat racing. If you're not yet, this is your chance to subscribe, become a premium member here on Kart Chaser. It's $10.99 a month. If you do it on a non-ISO device, which we all recommend you do, it's going to cost a little bit more if you do it on an ISO device. With that money, extra money goes to Apple and not towards Kart Chaser and their production that they put on. So if you haven't yet, subscribe and become a premium member. You can cancel at any time, and you can watch all the Kart Chaser events, not only the local ones here, but the other local and the other national events. So we're going to switch things over to the premium content here to watch for heats and finals coming to you live here. You are watching the Indy Kart Challenge live on Kart Chaser.